Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Sabbath. What is up, Mark? Thank you so much for subscribing. Subscribing with Prime, no less. No cost to you, money for me, at the expense of Amazon. Can't do much better than that. 15-month streak. I appreciate you. What's going on, Mark? Lips wet with venom. Stay hydrated. It's a warm day out there indeed. It is humid as a mother frig, and it is not at all morning, Mark. You're right. It's 2 p.m. It feels like morning for me. I just got up and got ready and went live. This is my morning. This is my Sunday. I need to figure out my shit, guys, when it comes to Sunday Sabbath. Like, it's a miracle that anyone even tunes into these streams because they start at all different times of day. I did 3 to 5 for the longest time, and then I was like, oh, what if I need to do stuff in the afternoon? So I switched to 12 to 3, which went well, and now here it is 2 o'clock. I guess we're going 2 to 5? I don't know. Makila Wendigo, good to see you. Patchy, how's it going? How's everybody doing? VIP Mark, how was Larry last night? So I was telling Mark, I had kind of a busy day. I had some personal accounting to do in the morning. Miranda! Thank you for subscribing, but why the fuck didn't that alert go into my headphones? What is happening? Did you guys hear it? Galaxy Buds. Okay, you're connected. Manage Bluetooth devices. Connected. 75%. What's the fucking problem here? You heard it? Okay, well, that's better than nothing, MD. I mean, they're for you more than, well, they're also for me because they're supposed to alert me if I'm not paying attention, but I saw the notification. It's fine. It's fine. So Mark is referring to, I did some accounting yesterday, and then I did some chores, and then I visited a friend for an early dinner, and so I knew I'd be back early-ish, and I knew Dustin wouldn't be home, and I said to him, you know what I'm going to do tonight, Mark? I'm going to get super baked, and I'm going to play a whole bunch of Leisure Suit Larry, the first Leisure Suit Larry, not the one that I've been playing with Mark some Saturday mornings. That's Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Dry Twice. That is the sequel to the game that I've been playing on my own. Mark did stream that game, though, with Jenna, helping him out. And so I played a bunch of it last night, and it's going, Mark. I'm finding that differently to the one that we're playing, I have a shit ton of inventory stuff and a shit ton of quests going on at the same time. Like it's almost feeling less linear than the sequel. Would you agree with that? Mac, most of my fave channels start around 2 or even 4 a.m. in my time zone. Oh, Mac, what a pain in the butt. So you were pretty early for what makes me really happy. It's past 8 p.m. for me here. Okay. Well, I mean, God, it's hard enough to find a schedule that suits my schedule, much less followers and viewers from all around the world. But I'm happy you're here. I'm happy anyone can come hang out on my streams. I love it. Mark, yeah, the first one had way more going on. Okay. Good to know. So it's not just me. Most of the puzzles so far have been pretty intuitive. I think I played, I started at about 10 and I went to about 12. So guess I put in a good 2 hours of it last night until I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm starting to get sleepy. I'm starting to get frustrated. That's enough for tonight. But I am having fun with it. It's a fun game. I love these point and click puzzle games. And the sexual innuendos, as juvenile as they are never offensive, you know? It's fun. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. But how are you guys doing? Happy Pride, Pat. You're up to mild pride celebrations? What does mild pride celebrations mean? Does that mean like on a personal level and not like going downtown and participating in the fray? I saw your picture yesterday of an actual rainbow in the sky on Pride weekend outdoors. How lovely. It is supposed to rain and rain and rain, and it is supposed to be humid and really stinking hot in Toronto. And Dustin and I are kind of grappling with the fact that This house, which we love, does not have central air. What it does have is a big-ass wall unit air conditioner installed at the top of the stairs, so kind of like right behind me. And what Dustin's done is he has arranged like a network of fans, oscillating fans and standing fans to kind of push that cold air into these rooms. So, for example, the room right next to me, the room where you often see him coming and going, that is like the den where we've got the big TV, the Xbox, a mini fridge. There's a lot of electronics running in there, and so it gets really fucking stinking hot, and that's where he spends most of his time. So trying to direct air in there, trying to direct air into the bathroom, which is all the way behind, the bedroom rather, which is all the way behind me. And then the studio here is kind of another matter. Like, it tends to stay a bit cooler because I have all of the windows kind of blacked out, but it also gets pretty steamy, and I don't want to put fans in here because that's gonna make noise. So we're figuring that out. According to the landlords, previous tenants have had no trouble just working with that one air conditioning unit and managing airflow, but we're learning it. Wapsie Kid, ceiling fans. Interesting, Wapsie Kid. Yeah, I think that would work in here, actually. I think that would work really well. Because those are fairly quiet, right? Because we also do the Faculty of Horror in here, and I think we were both getting a little sweaty when we were recording here last weekend. That's a good call, Wapsie Kid. I'll check that out. Likely story from the landlord. I know, right, MD? But honestly, like, when it comes to places I've lived and shortcomings and benefits, like, this house is tits. What's up, trooper? Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball. How have I never noticed that that was your avatar thing? Is there a story behind that? I don't get it. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball? Please tell me. Good to see you, Trooper. If anyone is not following Trooper, please do that. They've been playing some really fun survival horror games that are very much my shit. If these headphones are not going to make any sound, I'm just going to turn them off. How about that? How about that? I don't know. I just didn't feel like wearing my big over-ear headphones today. Probably because, see these two piercings up here? I had 2 cartilage piercings, and I forget why, but I took one of them out. I took the topmost one out many years ago, and I thought it had completely healed over. And then I was like on TikTok or something, and they were like, you know, like those piercings, when the cartilage heals, maybe a little flap of skin will heal over it, but like the actual piercing is still there. And so I was kind of like, huh. And I grabbed a hoop and I popped it through, and it didn't hurt at the time, but it's been sore for the last couple of days. So I think like there was some skin that healed over it, and it's anyway, so it's not super happy. It's not like infected and mad, it's just a little bit sore. And so I was thinking, I'm not going to put the over-ear headphones on today for Sunday Sabbath. I don't need it. I'm not gaming. It's not like that. So I wanted to wear my wireless earbuds, but they're not connected. Oh, I think I know why. Hold up. I think it's because my speakers were plugged in. So I think that might be overriding this shit. Let's try this again. Galaxy Buds. Okay. Let's try a little alert, just for the shit of it. No, I didn't hear that. So much for my experiment. I thought I had the solution. But I don't. These are going back in their case. VIP Mark, hey Necro, you should ask everyone to check out your YouTube. Yes, indeed, gang. I suppose I should. Oh, thank you. Or you could do it for me, Mark. Thank you very much. I have been putting a little bit more work into my YouTube, guys. I think you'll remember that 2 weeks ago, I actually did Sunday Sabbath streaming onto YouTube. I've been trying to put more effort into making clip compilations and share those on Instagram and on YouTube Shorts and just kind of... But I'm feeling a little scattershot in terms of strategy, and this is so me. This is so always how it goes. I'm always talking to you guys about how working for the magazine, my production schedule is and when I'm in the when I'm in the woo of the whir, I have these moments of like ambition, and I get excited, and I get this creative flush of, okay, I want to do more crafts on stream. I want to stream a whole bunch of craft content, and then I'll cut that up and put it on YouTube, and I'll cut it up even smaller and put it on here and here, and I'm going to start doing Sunday Sabbath and blah, 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 and it's all clear. It's all clear in my head, and I know what I'm doing, and then the starts up again, and I get really busy and stressed with the magazine, and I'm like, what am I doing? What time is it? Oh shit, I overslept. Am I streaming on YouTube or Twitch today? Did I even promote? You know what I mean? I'm having a really hard time managing that ebb and flow, which is bonkers, because I've been editor for like 8 years, and then for 2 years prior to that I worked the desk, so like the ebb and flow of the production schedule is not new to me, but I never quite got the hang of it. Trooper, it's from an early 90s SNL skit. I went with it because it matches my mood, and I was too lazy to make an actual avatar. Fair enough, Trooper. I mean, look, at the very least, I'm sure you have people in your chat being like, what's up with your avatar? What's the story there? And anything that invites chat to ask you a question and get you into kind of a story is not a bad thing, streamerly speaking, if that makes sense. MD, I want to get my ears pierced there. I wear fake rings there now. MD, it is like, I got these done, oops, that's the wrong ear. I got these done way back in the late 90s with a piercing gun. Do you remember those piercing guns? They're essentially glorified. It's like if a glue gun and a stapler had a baby, these were the shitty piercing guns that you used to get done at like Ardennes or Claire's or like these beauty stores. In fact, I actually got my nose pierced with one of those guns at a fucking hair salon at the mall for $20 damn. They were just like ka-tink. Anyway, so that's how I got these pierced, and that method of piercing is so much more traumatic to the flesh than a proper piercing studio where they're going to use a needle that is hollow and beveled such that it cuts. It cuts rather than hole punches. It's a lot less blunt force. And so any cartilage piercing where the trauma could result in big bumps and keloids, like that is so common for those up there cartilage piercings. You're going to have way less of a chance of that happening if you get them pierced with a proper piercing needle and jewelry. However, like mine eventually did heal just fine. I don't have big bumps in the back, but it took a long time and it hurt a fuck of a lot. So, MD, yeah, when I get it done, I'm going to a tattoo parlor that does piercing. That's the right way to do it, MD. And even then, like, you know, kind of consider which side you sleep on. Consider that it's going to have an impact on if you wear headphones a lot. Consider that it's going to have an impact on if you're always going like this and your hair is dirty and your hands are dirty, that introduces infection. It's a pain in the ass of a piercing. I think it's worth it. I think it's a cool looking piercing and I enjoy it, but it is a pain in the arse. You like that pigeon sound, Mark? Trooper, I'm the first person to ever ask. I'm just so inquisitive and observant, you know? Dennis, I posted a link to the Happy Fun Ball sketch in the Discord. Oh, thanks, Dennis. Are you familiar with that sketch? Did you recognize it? Is that why it happened? Lips wet with venom, paper hole punchers are less expensive and probably just as sanitary, right? Blech. Hello, Anu. It's hot as hell outside today. I know it is. We are all sealed up and trying to get a nice cool airflow through here, and I'm okay right now, but I did want to do a couple of things outdoors. Some of my outdoor plants need a little bit of love. We finally got a patio set. I don't know how much I talk about it on stream, but like we've got a big ass backyard here, and I'm desperate to hang out back there. I'm desperate to have company out there, but there was no seating and no table. And patio sets, if you guys aren't aware, are motherfucking goddamn expensive, especially if you want a half decent one. And so Dustin and I decided to start scouring secondhand, start scouring Facebook Marketplace. You know, people in Toronto are moving all the time. Sometimes, like, they just need it gone to the point where they mark things really low or even free. Curb alert, patio set, you know, and if you're on it and you're able to go grab it in time, you can get a really great deal. However, of course, we don't have a truck. So it's always a question of like, get it, reserve it, hire someone with a truck or rent one and go get it. Like, it's a bit of an ordeal, but like there is the possibility of saving a lot of money. So what happened with us is on Wednesday, I woke up and somebody was advertising a wrought iron patio set where it was like a table, a good oval-sized table, and 6 chairs, which is exactly what I wanted. And I was like, oh my God, I want that. And they were asking for $400, which, you know, suspiciously cheap or a really good deal and someone who wants to get rid of it real quick. You know, like we're toward the end of June now. Maybe they're moving and they have to get rid. I don't know. So I reached out and they were like, hey, are you still interested? And I said, yes, I can come check it out today. And they replied, I can show it to you when I get home from work tomorrow, but I need you to send me a deposit to reserve it. And I was like, on the one hand, understandable. I also know what a pain in the ass it is to sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Poshmark or whatever, and people waste your time, right? They ask you if it's available and then they don't follow up. They say that they're going to come and then they flake or then they bail and the whole process gets drowned out. So it's lame, lips wet, but at the same time I was kind of like, maybe. And so I did a bunch of research. Basically, I checked them out on Facebook and they had a profile picture and they had a couple of posts, but not a lot of material on there, which red flag, but some people only use Facebook for stuff like Marketplace. So I was like, okay, that's not really the end of the world. And I was like, they wanted me to pay half as a deposit. And I was like, okay, I'm not paying anything as a deposit that I'm not prepared to lose. And $200 is a bit more than I'm prepared to roll the dice on. And so I said, I'm not prepared to risk $200 for you to flake on me. Would you take 50? Because losing $50 still sucks, but it's not like the end of the world. And they said, yeah, that's fine. And I said, can I pay via PayPal? Because PayPal does have a buyer protection mechanism. And they said, yeah, you can pay through PayPal, but send it as a friends and family payment so that I have it all organized on my records. And that was the red flag that broke the camel's back, because sending as friends and family, first of all, nulls my buyer protection, A, and B, there is absolutely, I've used PayPal for years and years and years. It's what we use for Faculty of Horror finances. It's what I use for my personal Uber, like some business finances. There is absolutely no difference in the record keeping, the difference between friends and family or a commercial transaction. It shows up in your account exactly the same. The only difference is a fee that the payer pays, and the buyer protection. And so I was like, no. And I said to them, I said, it's too many red flags. If you're legit and you get home from work tomorrow and it's still available and I can come and see it and give you cash, let me know. Otherwise, deal's off. And I never heard from them again. And that was the day that I was just kind of like, you know what? Fuck this shit. It is not worth it. It is not worth my time, my effort, all the time that I put into researching this person, in like doing reverse Google searches of their profile picture and of the patio set to see if they were like cribbed from another site. I was like, this is bullshit. And you know, it's true what they say, that time is money. Because the money that I would have saved getting a patio set for that cheap, I spent in labor making sure it's legit. And so I just said to Dustin, you know what, let's just drive out. Let's just look at stores. We'll buy it out of a box. We'll have a warranty. We'll pay more because it's new, but we'll take it home today because I've had a fuck enough. And so we basically spent all day last Wednesday. We went to Canadian Tire, we went to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. They were all kind of like a cluster of big box stores in this like commercial plaza. We found a set that we liked. We bought it from Canadian Tire, which of course was the only place out of all these places that didn't offer any kind of delivery at any cost whatsoever. So we go to Home Depot, we rent a truck, we take the truck back to Canadian Tire, we get it home, we have to fill it with gas, take it back. It was an ordeal that took me all fucking day. But I have a patio set now. For Christ's sake. Anyway, all this to say that I am now newly galvanized to do stuff out in the yard. I want to pretty it up. I am hosting my friend's 40th. What's up, Enu? What's shaking? I didn't hear that in my ears, but because I don't have my headphones in. But you redeemed, psst, Andrea, to get my attention. What's up? You have it. The floor is yours. Nothing? Trooper, partly for the best. Lots of people out there trying to get something for nothing. Scam calls and WhatsApp messages are an epidemic out there. It's brutal. It's brutal. And like, in addition to the disappointment of not getting a patio set that I kind of like, you start to kind of get your hopes up, you know, when you start to make an offer and they reply to you and you're like, oh my God, is this actually happening? I'm so excited. It's also like, in addition to that disappointment, it's demoralizing on a level of why are human beings like this? It's sad and it makes me sad. And like, there's so much out there that can make you just demoralized on the level of humanity. I don't need extra that in my life. Lip Sweat, I hate their credit card canvassers who ambush you as soon as you walk in. Me too, Lip Sweat. That is almost like on the level of telemarketers, in that I'm so annoyed by it that I'm inclined to tell them to like fuck off. But at the same time, they don't want to be doing that. Nobody takes that job because it's what they want to be doing with their time. That's why I always feel bad telling them to fuck off. Oh my God, look at what my boobs are doing to this shirt. It's like totally scrunching. There you are. There you are. My boobs are making him frown. He's like, Lips wet with venom, it's their managers. I mean, look, you can blame their managers who are, again, probably just doing their jobs from instructions on high and head office and like the entire capitalist system that probably, I assume those gigs have a kind of commission for them to be so aggressive. It's rough. It's rough. Swedish Gus, the shirt is like, my eyes are down here. Look into my eyes. Totally. Look, if I draw attention to my own boobs on stream, it's fine. If you guys do it, it's another story. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're all friends here. Wopsy Kid, Canadian Tire. I'm going to Canada someday just to shop at one. I mean, they're okay. It's kind of, what's interesting about the Canadian Tire that I just went to is like, in addition to all things home and garden and house, is they have like a mini party center in there. And I actually processed my transaction at the party center to avoid the lineup of the main thing. So I bought a patio set at Party City, technically. And also Canadian Tires tend to have, sometimes they have fast food joints like embedded in the front of them. And so Dustin and I actually had Subway lunch at Crappy Tire. It's fine. The credit card canvassers, I also see those at Loblaws a lot when I'm doing groceries. And I'm a little bit neurotic about groceries in that I have a list and I have anxiety of when it's too crowded and not being able to find what I want. And if I can't find what I want, then my meal planning is thrown off for the week. So like every time I do groceries, I'm like, okay, just chill. You're doing groceries. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but I tend to get a little bit worked up. And then when I walk into the store and they're like, hey, PC credit card, I'm like, fuck off. I'm not in a good place. Sorry for yelling. Was that the worst? Sorry, Dante. Look at Dante's little face. Oh, hello, baby. Are you speaking to stream? Are you saying good morning to everybody? Dante. Do you want to sing with Mummy? Oh, he's starting. In case you're wondering, guys, I wanted to have the Dante cam on today, but I guess I rearranged my stream setup. I know I rearranged my stream setup a couple of times, and I was using my B cam, my secondary. See, this is number 2. This is B cam. You can't see that, but that sticker there says 2 on it in pen. And this is usually, I'll put this as my overhead cam when I'm doing crafting and stuff like that, but I'll also put it on a tripod on the floor down there and have it on Dante for the Dante cam. However, I rearranged stuff, I disconnected it, I reconnected it, and the wire is so short. I have no idea how I was able to get this on a tripod on the floor without this being like right where my legs are. I don't know. Maybe I used an extension cord. Where that is, I don't know. So this is just a non-cam right now. Just if you're wondering why there's no Dante cam. But fortunately for us, Dante seems to be hanging out. I don't have him lit though. Mark, if you draw attention to your boobs on my stream, that's not fine. Just saying. Really? If I draw attention to your boobs on your stream, well, Mark, I mean, the last Leisure Suit Limey we did get a little fetishy with my Swindle cosplay. Did everybody see that? It's like, who doesn't have a random vinyl cat suit hanging in their closet? And an eyeliner with which they can add a little kinky John Waters mustache. Everyone does, right? Everyone should. Amusing. Hello. Good to see you in here, darling. How are you doing now? Wopsy Kid, in the Midwest, we have a place called Fleet Farm. Need a saddle? Check. A new fishing rod? Check. Patio furniture? Check. 5 pounds of chopped walnuts? Check. Fleet Farm. Goodness, Wopsy Kid. That sounds like a pretty good one-stop shop. I wouldn't be buying chopped walnuts, but I love a good bulk food place. We have Bulk Barn here in Toronto, but I don't really have one that's super convenient for me, so I never go, even though I know it would save me so much money. Bulk Barn is like the place to get reasonable rates on things like ground coffee and protein powder, which are 2 things that I consume every single day. And so it would behoove me greatly to buy those in bulk, save money on packaging, but I just can't seem to get out of my way to do it. Trooper, even if I had the figure for it, and I don't, it's far too summery for a catsuit out here. That's fair, Trooper. But also, to be fair, that catsuit is very cheap and thin. I think I paid like $60 for it at a sex shop, and I knew at the time that I was way overpaying for a very low quality garment, but it was when I was doing Edward Scissorhands for Halloween, so I needed it. Also, guys, I have an idea for my Halloween costume this year, and it's a doozy. I feel like I should be starting on it now. Amusing, you knew it was Mark's birthday? Okay, Mark, I'm gonna scold you on stream here. Mark is a newer friend of mine, but I'd like to think that we've become pretty close friends over the past couple of years that we've known each other. And, you know, we chat on Discord chat one-on-one all the time. And one day I was just kind of like, hey, Mark, what's up? It was Wednesday because it was movie night in the Discord. We were going to watch Sleepaway Camp. And I saw that Mark was online. I was like, hey, you want to watch a movie with my Discord peeps? And he was like, cool. No, thanks. I'm actually going to go to bed soon. It was my birthday today, so it was kind of a long day. And I was like... And it's funny because it actually got me kind of reflecting on like newer friends. When you have newer friends, like, unless they're on Facebook and Facebook reminds you, or unless they put together a party or something, like, how do you know? How do you know it's someone's birthday? And so I felt like a piece of shit for not knowing it was his birthday. It's in my calendar on my phone now. I won't forget ever again. I'm glad that I still got the chance to wish him a happy birthday on his birthday dot, but I very nearly missed it. So if everybody could do me a favor and wish them a happy birthday right now in chat, I would appreciate that. Amusing seemed to know. I don't know how you knew Amusing. We need to share more information, girl, you and me. Wapsie Kid, Fleet Farm is where holiday bakers who know go to get ingredients in bulk. Wapsie Kid, that really does sound like Bulk Barn, because Bulk Barn, I noticed that in addition to all their bulk foods and candies and ingredients and stuff, they sell a lot of like molds and baking, like silicone baking supplies. So I think it's a baker's place. MD, I saw Asteroid City the other day. It was pretty good. What's that? MD. I also saw an Oppenheimer trailer in front of it, and I was like, I've already seen a movie where Cillian Murphy builds a bomb and suffers, so I think I'll skip it and not be emotionally devastated for a while. MD, emotional devastation, feasting your eyes on Cillian Murphy. I mean, I'm sure you're feeling this tension already, but you know what I'm saying? Mark, what flavored protein do you have? I like raspberry ripple. Mark, I am so sensitive to the flavor, like synthetic flavors. I actually get unflavored vegan protein powder. And the morning shake that I've been making for the past 5 years, it's remarkable that I haven't gotten tired of this morning shake. What I do is I take a little plastic sandwich baggie, and every week I buy a huge ass motherfucking bag of spinach. And I take 2 big handfuls of spinach, I put it in the sandwich bag, and I roll it up. I roll up the bag, which performs 2 functions. First of all, it gets all the air out of the bag, which makes it freeze better, but also it makes the spinach freeze into this tube. Sorry for the obscene gestures I'm making of this tube of spinach, frozen spinach in a tube that I can just pop into my little blender thing. I have one of those, what do you call it? Like the mini blender where it's a cup and you flip it upside down and right into the cup. It's not a proper blender. So I use 2 cups of spinach, 1/2 a frozen banana, 1 cup of dairy substitute of your choosing. I like Coconut Dream, the unsweetened coconut one, because I'm allergic to nuts. I can't use Almond Dream. And I find the texture is a little bit more pleasing than the oat milk or rice milk. I just prefer coconut. I don't know why. And then a little teaspoon of peanut butter. And I find that the frozen banana is enough sweetness, and then you get the nutritional aspects from the spinach and the protein. And it's a mild flavor, but it's good enough for me. I prefer unflavored protein. That's the long answer to your question, Mark. Ashelon, I know exactly what low quality pleather feels like from my old costume job. Yeah, exactly, Ashelon, right? It's like proper pleather should be thick enough to actually have some compression and make those cat suits a little more forgiving and a little more flattering. But the one I have is just like wrapping yourself in plastic wrap. Trooper, starting on a Halloween costume in June. It must really be a banger. Well, it's not that, Trooper. Look, there are 2 parts to it. First of all, there is a very specific garment that I want to get for cheap. I can spend a lot of money on it, and if I leave it until the last minute, that's when you're gonna spend a lot of money on it, just like that cat suit, because you'll be desperate and you'll be like, I need it now, Amazon, give it to me. Whereas if I start looking at Value Village now, I can probably come up with the garment portion of it at a reasonable rate if I just give it time. And then the second aspect, and the aspect that's really gonna make it slap, is a very intense makeup application that I think I should also probably practice in the weeks leading up to Halloween. That said, I don't actually have plans this Halloween. I actually don't have shit to do. I was starting to try to plan a Halloween party, but the venue I wanted was booked for the 27th, so they offered it to me for October 15th, which is a Friday, 13th, which is a Friday the 13th, which is kind of appealing, but it's also not very Halloween-y. So what do I do? Do I look for other venues, or do I accept that one because it's, I don't know. I'm too busy to plan that shit right now, guys. I need an assistant. God help me. I need a personal fucking assistant. Happy birthday, happy birthday, Mark! Happy belated birthday, Mark! Amusing, I got pinged in his Discord because Mark Fooley made me a mod in there. What, it pinged you that it was his birthday? What are you saying? What are you saying? Mark, thanks, Andrea, but don't worry about it. I kept it very quiet this year. Usually I do a big stream. Last year I did a 36-hour birthday stream. Well, Mark, that actually makes me feel worse because that means that I probably saw it was happening last year and I should have put it in my calendar then. Hello, Ryan. How are you? Dustin, there's your assistant. Oh, my God. He's a terrible assistant. He's really bad at it. He's okay at it. I shouldn't say that. But there's no way I could be like, hey, plan the Rue Morgue Halloween party. That's not a Dustin task. Asteroid City is the new Wes Anderson movie. Oh, thank you, MD. I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop. But yeah, Mark, I'm of the opinion that you can keep it quiet all you want, but at the very least, I would have liked to have sent you a text at the beginning of the day saying, happy birthday, Mark. Here are all the things I love about you. At the very least, that is your gift to make you feel good on this day. On this day in history. I'm glad you were born. Amusing, Cillian Murphy is unreasonably good looking. Agreed. Facts. Amusing, again, I arrive on the bisexual conundrum. Am I into the attractive person, or do I want to look like the attractive person? Amusing, Cillian Murphy is a bisexual conundrum in and of himself because he is so, you know, like, I'm pretty sure he identifies as he, and, you know, but his features are very beautiful in an androgynous kind of way, and so, yeah, he's just for everyone to enjoy. You know what I mean? Rakatansky, what did I miss? Fuck all. Fuck all. I talked about Bark Barn. I howled with Dante, who is right now having a lie down. Poor thing, he's probably hot. I talked a little bit about my patio set. I talked a little bit about Mark's birthday that I almost missed. I'm going to talk about the new issue of the magazine pretty soon. How about that? How about that? Mac, I can recommend Whiter, always by the way isolate. Vanilla or chocolate, and mostly I use it with black coffee. Yes, I do that sometimes too, Mac. If I have leftover coffee that's kind of gotten cold and has been sitting in the French press too long, that almost makes it too strong and too acidic to drink straight, I'll pop that in my spinach, banana, and peanut butter smoothie, and good to go. Good to go. Rakatansky, you start Halloween costumes in November. What? For the following year? Are you serious? Good grief. That's some serious prep. Are your Halloween costumes epic or what? MD, I know the Barbie movie comes out at the same time as Oppenheimer, and I do love Ryan Gosling. In any case, I've been loving the memes where people are like transitioning from watching Oppenheimer to the Barbie movie. That's fun, MD. Fuck. I am so wrapped up in the new issue and trying to focus on stuff coming out this fall. I actually had a feature fall through. I was going to give a sizable feature to the new, fuck it, I'll tell you, whatever, what's confidential? I don't think this is confidential, and it needn't be. I had earmarked some space in the Halloween issue for the new Alan Wake game. Obviously very horror, like a trailblazing horror title, and here's a sequel coming out after so many years. It's the kind of thing where you're like, why is now a good time to revive the franchise? Like, a video game cinematics technology have come such a long way. Like, what can we look forward to? And the PR people who played ball with our initial inquiry, all of a sudden were like, we're not doing any interviews. No, how did they put it? They put it a really weird way. We're freezing interviews until September, and I need to have my files in at the end of next month. And so it's just kind of like, okay, so much for that feature. But why the fuck? What do you mean you're freezing interviews? What does that mean? Like, if the interview subject is unavailable for interview until September, say that. Freezing interviews doesn't make sense to me. That's a weird way to put it. And, you know, there's so much in semantics. There's so much in the way you put things and the way you approach people. Like, if they said, our interview subject is not available till September, I'd be like, oh, well, too bad. Better luck next time. Cool. Let me know in September and maybe we can run something in the blog. But when we're freezing, if you're using terminology that doesn't make sense to me, then I feel snubbed and I feel blown off and I feel suspicious. And maybe that's a me thing. Maybe that's a personal problem. But I actually had another one of those. I don't know if you guys know, but I also organize a live, in-person, one-day only horror marketplace event in Toronto. It's called the Spooky Flea Market. And we're on Instagram, but our biggest footprint is probably on Facebook. It's like a Facebook event page, and that's where we post all the information and the vendor profiles. And I've been doing the Spooky Flea Market this is its 5th year, but I think there was 2 years that we missed due to COVID. And Spooky Flea Market 5 is going to be bigger than ever because we actually got permits to close off the alleyway of the parking lot where we do it, which means we can fit another 10 vendors, which means like it's growing. And we have a beer tent. Well, we have a beer vendor, a local brewery who come in, and what we did last year was we did a beer tent, and it was in the Rue Morgue Lounge, where that was a 19 plus area. If you came in, you had to show ID, you got a bracelet, you could buy beer and drink it in the Rue Morgue manner. This year, we've actually licensed the entire site, and we've put the beer tent outside, so you can grab a beer and sip it while you shop all the way around. So all this to say that there are a number of things that I've been working hard on to make this year bigger and better than ever. Now, there are always, every single year, there are always people who miss the vendor application window. And so now that we're starting to promote the event, I'm getting flooded with people being like, are you still taking vendor? Are you still taking vendor admissions? Are you still taking vendor admissions? And I'm not. The answer is no. The vendors are laid out, and if one of them were to cancel, there's already a waiting list. Those people made the deadline, so those people are getting in ahead of you who missed it. And I can't believe how many people are sending me sob stories about, oh, I didn't see it. My problem or your problem? Oh, I was busy with other stuff, so I missed the deadline. My problem or your problem? I had 30 vendor spots this year, guys, and over 80 applications. Like, why on earth would I be like, oh, you forgot? Oh, you were busy? Okay. Oh, I'll just make an exception for you. I'll push you to the front of the line. No. Things don't work that way. Nothing in life works that way. Whether you're talking about, like, a grassroots DIY event or a job application or a charity or like, what are you thinking? And most recently, I had somebody reach out to me being like, are there still vendor spots available? And I said, no, I'm afraid not. The deadline is passed and there's already a waiting list. Like, I'm always kind. I'm always polite, even if internally I'm just kind of like, fucking annoying. Don't come to me with this shit. Don't waste my time because you don't have your shit together. Like, you missed it. What do you want me to do? And this person was like, oh, I'm a magician illusionist, and I have a show coming up in Toronto in September, and I want to promote my show. And that's what he says to me. And I'm like, okay. Once again, me problem, you problem. What do you want from me? And he was like, is there any way I can promote my show at the Spooky Flea Market? I want a lot of people to come out to my show. And I'm like, dude, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. I get it. I really, really do. But here is the way to approach somebody who is having an event to promote your event. What value does it add to my event? And look, that value can be thin. It can be specious. It can be abstract. If he were to have said, hey, I realize that I've missed the deadline for the spooky flea market, but I would like to participate. I am an illusionist, and I would like to attend your event and walk around and surprise and delight your patrons. And all I ask in return is the opportunity to promote my show at your event. If he came at me like that, this is business speak. Let's talk. This is business. You have proposed to me a reciprocal cross promotion. You're offering me value and you're telling me what you get out of it. No money is changing hands. It's not complex. It's not complicated. Rytron, never trust a magician. They're all scoundrels. Ryan, I just get so frustrated because I understand what it's like to be an independent artisan, like to have a vision and to be hustling. It's hard to hustle. It's fucking hard to get people to pay attention to you and to get your work out there. But you know what's not hard? Doing a simple Google search and learning the very first thing about marketing, cross-promotion, and professionalism. It is all in the approach. It is all in the approach. And I find myself in a position now where, like, I don't have to reply to him. I don't know him shit. He's asking me for something and offering nothing in return, and I don't have to entertain that out of the goodness of my heart at all. But I do have an inclination to be like, you know what, dude? The answer is no. But going forward, here's a tip. Pro tip. If you're going to approach someone for a promo gig, approach them with some awareness of business incentives and tell me how you can add value to my event before you're just like, I want to promote my thing. How can you help me? Story of my fucking life. It drives me nuts. Sorry for the mini rant. But like now my mind is spinning into all the other aspects of, like, I get so many press releases in my inbox and so many of them are so me. And sometimes sometimes independent filmmakers almost try to play a pity card. Like they'll try to be like, I'm an independent filmmaker who's working with zero budget and I have this Kickstarter and I need this from you. This is what I need from you. Help me. And if I got one or two of those a year, and I could be like, okay, yes, I'll help you, but I get 10 of those a day. What you need to do is set yourself apart by being like, my Kickstarter is about this. And I think your readers would really be interested in it. I'm offering these perks that are on trend right now. Tell me how this benefits me. Because if you come at me with help me, it's not an attractive business proposal. It shows a lack of awareness. And I realize, believe me, I realize all too well that creatives are not trained in PR. Marketing, especially in this age of social media, is like, that can be a full-time job on its own. But what I'm saying is, begging for handouts just doesn't work. You've got to innovate. You have to. It's the reality. And by innovating, I mean something as simple as modifying your approach such that the person receiving your approach feels like this is worth their time. Ryan, I am indie filmmaker with no budget. Can I please pet your dog? Yes, you may, Rytron. Yes, you may. Rytron, creatives have to train themselves in PR because even if they don't, another one, me, will, has. Yes, absolutely, Rytron. And you know, funny story. So once upon a time I went to, I always go to Fantasia with Ashley Wessel. And one time she was pitching something and she asked me to help her with her pitch. And I did. I I think I gave it some pretty good tweaks. I think I helped her, but I also helped her work on her Kickstarter pitch in terms of here's what good PR looks like. Here's what value you can offer, how to stipulate it, what links and assets need to be there. If I get a press release where in order to do a proper blog post, I need to reply to them and be like, hey, when is the event? I need high-res images. What time is the event? What's it called? If I have to ask them anything, if there is any information missing in the press release that I need, it is a bad press release that will probably get deleted because I don't have time to follow up. I don't have time to chase you down to get the information I need to throw up a shitty blog post. I don't have time for that. And it occurred to me that like filmmakers don't know this. Creatives don't know this. And they're not going to know unless they're told. And so I actually proposed doing a workshop at Frontiers where I'm just like, hey, I'm a magazine editor. Here's how to approach media. Here's what to do and what not to do. They didn't take me up on it, I think because it was too late in the season and they were like, maybe another time and blah, 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 blah. Which is fine. I'm always kind of offering my time for stuff like this because it's like, I'm going to be there anyway. Watching movies and fucking around. Like it really wouldn't be a whole lot of prep and a whole lot of work for me to put together a little workshop and for kind of a niche subject that I strongly feel people don't know enough about. And this is an event that's for networking indie film and for budding horror professionals. And anyway, I might just be banging my drum because I feel guilty and I feel like a jerk bashing people for what they don't know. But at the same time, I feel like that information is out there. And if you put half as much effort into promotion as you do in the content itself, it shows. And a lot of people don't. Ashley's got her shit together now, Rytron. She listened to your girl. She listened to your girl. She always listens to your girl. Rakatansky, you sent me pics of oh yes, the Japanese. That's right, Rakatansky. That was something new that I learned about you, that you fucking go hard for Halloween. You're like a DIY cosplay grade type thing. Trooper, PR people want less buzz about their product? What a weird way to go about their job. It boggles the mind, Trooper. It boggles. Trooper, it's to your credit you're willing to caress his noggin with a clue-by-four. A clue-by-four? I've never heard that one before. I love that. But that is really going above and beyond for an event organizer. It is, Trooper, but like I said, it does take up real estate in my brain. I think, part of the Spooky Flea Market's whole ethos is that we offer vendor tables for $40 for which we can guarantee you're going to get your work in front of about 600 people. That is a scream of a deal. If you go to a horror convention, like a proper organized horror convention, they charge hundreds of dollars a table, and you'd be lucky to break even. And so I recognize that Spooky Flea, and I prioritize that. Spooky Flea Market is for the less established horror collector artisan to have an opportunity. That's why it's a flea market and not like a bazaar or a marketplace or something. Like, I want flea market prices. I want a flea market vibe. I want people to come and get deals. And so I want it. I want it to be an opportunity and a stepping stone for people who are new. And like, honestly, having somebody walk around and do little sleight of hand things as an attraction is not a terrible idea. But at the same time, I don't want to reward a bad pitch. I don't know. Ashlon, I had a roommate once who was complaining about the marketing business courses she had to take in art school in 2008. She is definitely not complaining now. echelon. If I could do one thing differently about my education, I did sociology. And sociology is awesome in that it is so interdisciplinary that it offered me a whole lot of elective credits. And I spent a lot of those elective credits in psychology, world religions, and Greek mythology, philosophy, linguistics. Like, I was able to dabble in a lot of spaces. But if there was one thing I could do over again, I would have taken a couple of business classes, because I incorporated myself earlier this year. Of course, I had no idea at the time that I would wind up a full-time creative freelancer. I incorporated myself earlier this year, and the bookkeeping, I would really, really benefit from some proper training on how to run a business. And I really think everyone could. It's not too late. I could always take a course now. There are free online courses available through the public library. There's free online courses for small businesses. There's grants, there's resources through the government, but that should have come with my very costly university education. But that's on me. That is at least on me. I own that. Lewis Buchanan, do you guy TikTok? Yes. I am trying to learn TikTok. It's funny you should ask me that now, Lewis, because I hung out with a friend last night and they were telling me, oh my God, my shirt's doing the thing again. They were kind of educating me about TikTok. I feel like every time I open TikTok, it's content that I do not give a flying fuck about. And in fact, sometimes even content that offends me and bothers me. And so I'm aware that TikTok, of all the social media platforms, probably has the most sophisticated algorithm, in that it monitors how long you watch something, it monitors what you engage with, what threads you follow within the app to populate content that is tailored to you. However, the discoverability function of TikTok is a little bit lacking. Like on Instagram, you can follow hashtag horror, such that anything that comes up with hashtag horror comes up on your feed. With TikTok, I find myself aimlessly wandering this wasteland, desperately liking the stuff that I like, but it doesn't seem to be changing my feed. And I was talking to my friend last night who has found her niches. She has found her people, and she is getting so much value out of TikTok. And I'm like, fuck, I want that for myself. I am envious of that. And I want that. So I actually spent, after I was done playing Leisure Suit Larry last night, I actually gave myself an hour to fuck around on TikTok and to find my niches, find my people, find my community. I feel like I wasted my time. Anyway, I am interested in creating more content at TikTok. I am interested in networking and finding a community of spooky creatives on there, but I haven't found my way. So you know, my Discord link is there. Perhaps if you have some TikTokers that you feel I need to be following, or some tips on how to improve my TikTok experience, please jump in the Discord and let me know, because I could use some help. MD, I have so many art and writing and even entrepreneur students who are like, why do I need a rhetoric class? Why do I need a writing class? I'm not doing any writing outside college. That's incredible, MD. And that is so, you know, I take my writing skills for granted because I was so largely self-taught. I think the reason I'm a good writer is because I did a fuck ton of reading as a teenager, and I did a fuck ton of journaling as a teenager. I feel like that really honed my writing chops, and I tend to take it for granted in that even when I have good content, interesting photos to post on Instagram, for example, you have to write up a caption. You have to write up a caption that is engaging and hopefully personal. And I'm not even talking about hashtags and like collaborators and like all that inside baseball marketing stuff that you can and should, and I don't do. But writing is such a universal skill. A good grasp on persuasive writing will get you so far in every aspect of your life. Rakitansky, I was majoring in psych along with anthropology, film, and I took a couple of religious studies courses. I could have majored in psych and film and minored in the other two. I considered minoring in psych, Rakitansky, but I didn't want to take a lot of the sciencey credits. I just for example, there was a class on the psychology of death and dying. I want that. I just kind of wanted the specialized topics. I actually didn't take a single fucking film class. A single film studies class in university. Does that surprise anyone? Mac, I know what you mean. I studied this stuff. Personal and quality management, sales and service. I quit my job after 2 years. Even the money was worthless for me at some point. Mac, what are you saying? Are you saying that you studied that stuff and you found it wasn't worth it? Ashlon, I have found my niche on TikTok as well. There's a lot of great ND supper there. That and clown videos. ND support. ND. What's ND, Ashlon? Neurodivergent? Neurodivergent support. Yes. Yes. That is something that I am learning about TikTok, is that it's very inclusive. However, like I said, I'm having trouble finding my peeps. How did you find your niche? Tell me. Right, Tron, the creatives I care about tend to value their creations more than that on TikTok, who make content to be instantly forgotten. The creatives I care about tend to value their creations more than that on TikTok, who make content to be instantly forgotten. To each their own. I just have no real impetus to put any further effort into it. Rytron, I hear you. I don't know if they agree. I don't know if I agree. I don't know why I said they. I hear you that that content does tend to be fleeting and instantly forgotten, but it's also a body of work that lives on the internet. I mean, I've heard from so many artisans that a TikTok video they made a year ago went viral a year later because the right person found it and the right community found it, and it just look at fucking Trevor Henderson. And it's hard because it is work and it is time consuming and it is effort, and it's hard to prioritize something that might pay off, has a 1 in 100 chance, or probably even less, of going viral and hitting it big, or even reaching the people you want it to reach. But I think it's still worthwhile. I think it's still worthwhile, and I find myself really trying to streamline my content creation to be as efficient as possible. For example, I'm wearing a lot of motherfucking makeup today, guys. I do a full face of makeup maybe 3 times a week. And on those makeup days, those are the days where I stream. Those are the days where I take selfies that I parse out over the course of the week. Those are the days that I create content that features my fatch. And then the days where I don't put on makeup, I do other stuff. And so that's just kind of one example of batching your shit, which I understand is really important to efficiency as a content creator. What I would like, and I think what I'm, again, I was talking at the start of this stream that I'm kind of, when it comes to content, I would like to be more strategic. I would like to be smarter about it. What I would like to do is put a bunch of effort into making a quality stream that is fun for me. I'm talking, I'm hanging out, I'm having fun. You're hopefully having fun. Good. And then I have all this video that I can then chop, YouTube, chop, Instagram, TikTok. That is efficient use of my time. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not fully convinced that my stream content is appropriate for those other venues. I'm still kind of experimenting with that. And 2, I don't have the video editing acumen to do all of this effectively, and that is a learning curve, and I'm absolutely capable. I'm smart. I'm with it. I'm hip hop. I've got VIP Mark offering to train me on video editing all the time. I have all the resources I need. I just need to sit down and do it. And as you know, time is money, and money is time. And of course, that's always another option, right? Is do a stream, download it, and send it to somebody and pay them to do all that shit for me. That's probably what I should do, because editing time is my barrier right now. And what I don't have in time, I do have in money. I don't have a ton of money, but I have some. And the return on investment is probably worthwhile. Anyway. Ashlon, I started with a woman named Amos Katiosaurus. She's an ADHD educator. Interesting, Ashlon. So what do you mean you started with them? You started following them and then they kind of led you to other content? Because how does that work? I know that on TikTok, a lot of people respond to one another. They do duets, they do reaction videos, they do those green screen things. Like, how do you go from one content creator to like, how do you find that network aspect on TikTok? Do you follow who they follow? Do you follow who is following them and commenting on their stuff? Or do you just continually watch and like their stuff until the algorithm gets wise to what it is you want and they feed you similar content? I think that's the problem. Wapsie Kid, our middle kid just got accepted into master's psychology. She wants to work in hospice care. Her classes were all abnormal this and criminal that. Really, Wapsie Kid? That's not very master's level current discourse. Hospice care work is incredibly important. Palliative care, that's something that I learned a lot about in that psychology of death and dying thing. And in fact, I have a friend whose pet was diagnosed with cancer, and they're still researching treatment, chemotherapy, radiation, all that good stuff, but also a palliative aspect where it's like, is there a way to make it so that they can die in comfort at home, and it's not. This is such a difficult topic, and like obviously it's heartbreaking for her. She's simultaneously grieving this terrible news, but her dog is still alive and probably will be for another 9 months or so. So it's almost preemptive grieving, where she's like, I'm absolutely physiologically grieving this dog, but at the same time it's right there, and I want to cherish what time I have left with it, but the grief is, I'm experiencing both those things at the same time, and they're a little bit it's a lot, and I totally get it. And I think for any pet owner, you're like, one day this day will come. Death will touch us all eventually, and that's not just in ourselves but in the ones we love. But I think when it comes to pets, it's you expect to outlive your parents. You don't expect to outlive your children. And you do expect to outlive your pets. And that, it adds all these dimensions into your approach. And I think what rattled my chain about that conversation last night is like, of course, you want to make the decisions that are best for your pet, but you also want to make the decisions that are best for you. And I think if I were ever in a position where Dante was so sick that he might pass any day now, I don't want to wake up and find him dead. Like, that idea breaks my brain. The scenario of having to go to the vet and have him put down also breaks my brain and breaks my heart, but I feel like it would be less traumatizing than the former. And so, yeah, palliative care is so important, and I think our society is still so death phobic and everything is kind of behind a curtain. We don't engage in these subjects because they're uncomfortable, and as a result we don't actually engage with these industries until we're desperate and until we're so emotionally compromised that we almost can't fully think rationally and economically and, you know, make those decisions as soundly as we'd like. But I have to get there sooner or later. Trooper, oh, fuck, did I miss you? It's 3 a.m. here, must sleep. Need to be at work in 6 hours or so. Jesus Christ, Trooper, go to bed. Go to bed. I hope you never feel pressured to be here because I'm in your stream so much, Trooper. But again, that's like a time zone thing. Every morning when I'm getting up and having my coffee, Trooper tends to be streaming, and so I can watch their stream while I'm sipping my coffee and playing my 2 dots game. Or sometimes Mark, when Mark is streaming, that's the same time zone. It's interesting how that works. Mac, I was in the wrong movie. My point is that I want to do stuff my way, and when it's really important, I want to do it on my own. I'm not good at explaining stuff to other people, and I really don't want to look down on other people. So I even did some of my driver jobs. I'm really better when I only have to manage my stuff, energy, and not given to people's orders. Maybe I'm too soft. No, Mac, I mean, it's such a... Yeah. I feel like there's a tension that needs to be balanced there where, you know... I've been quoted as saying that I'm unemployable and that I've been working for myself and I have so much control over my shit for so long that, like, I can't answer to people anymore. I can't, especially if I can't understand, like, I can't be a soldier bee when I've been the queen bee for so long. But that's also not entirely true. I find collaborating with other people keeps me motivated. And when I am solely in charge of my own shit, for example, this stream, for example, my own content and branding that I'm trying to get off the ground, I get scattered and I get aimless and I get distracted. And it's tricky stuff. MD, I watch cooking and art videos on TikTok and book talk stuff. See, yeah, that's another thing, MD. Book talk, goth talk. There's all these talks. How do you find them? And once you find them, how do you infiltrate them? I just keep scrolling and getting vids from friends. Sometimes, though, you end up on a side of TikTok and you don't know how you got there. For example, I see so much stuff from Black Gentle Parenting Tips TikTok, and I don't understand. Like, do I need gentle parenting? MD, I was looking up goth talk, and I was getting all this, my goth baby, being a goth mom, being a mom while goth. Salute to all the goth moms out there who are following their toddlers at the playground in platform shoes. And I'm like, the fuck, I don't want this. Do not want this. And in fact, this actually fucked me up because I realized that the amount of time you spend on a video tricks the algorithm into thinking that you're interested in that content. And the fucking algorithm fucked me because I was scrolling along and it looked like a talk show. And it looked like a talk show because there were people discussing and debating, and every so often a very professional caption would come up across the bottom. And there was this middle-aged, white-haired guy, and it said across the bottom, Doug, 5th grade teacher. And Doug, the 5th grade teacher, was having a debate with a trans person about the validity of their trans identity. And I stumbled upon it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. You're bringing up some points and you're bringing up some points. And for the most part, this is a respectful dialogue between them. It's like, this is content that I'd be interested in, even though, like, I'm pretty firm on what side I'm on. I would like to know what the discourse is. I would like to have my finger on the pulse. I don't understand why people are opposed to gender fluidity and pronouns and trans exclusionary feminism. I don't understand it, and so I want to understand it. And so is this the kind of content that's going to perhaps educate me? And it was only until I got to the end of the video that I realized the video was cut in favor of the 5th grade school teacher who was trans exclusionary. And I was like, fuck, now the algorithm thinks that I want to see this 5th grade teacher owns woke culture. That is the opposite of what I want. You tricked me. You tricked me. And I mentioned this to my friend last night, and my friend said, what you need to do then is look at that video, dig deeper, and find people who are fighting against that video. Find people who are doing duets or reactions and arguing the other side. Follow them. MJ, algorithm thinks Andrea is a goth mom turf. It does. It does. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. And this morning I noticed, like, I was following a lot of crafty people, but I need the algorithm to recognize that I want goth crafty. I don't want 10 ways to make a foam live, laugh, love sign for your wall. You know what I mean? TikTok is trying, and I'm trying. Eventually we're gonna meet in the middle, and we're gonna make beautiful music together. MD, TikTok's algorithm is spooky accurate sometimes. You also need to scroll instantly when you don't like a TikTok. MD, that's my problem. I don't... Hey, Siokra. Welcome. Thanks for following. What if I don't know that I don't like it until the end? There's no downvote. Is there? It's like... It sounds like work. Maybe it's worth it, because I have a feeling once the algorithm gets you, that snowball keeps growing, but it feels like work right now. Smile times! Welcome! Good to see you, bud. What's shaking? Did you see my Thor mug in the Discord? I posted it just for you. PDX, hey, Libby, good to see you. It totally makes sense to batch produce your content, get a bunch at once, and then parse it out over different platforms and such. It does. It totally makes sense, PDX. But you know what the problem is? Well, one of the problems is that if you don't do it right away, your enthusiasm kind of wanes. Like, I had every intention of doing full-on content pushes about the lamp that I made, the wreath that I made. But when I do it, and then I don't have time to edit, I'm already thinking about my next project, and like those other projects feel stale. It's not stale. It's perfectly good content, but my mind's already on the next thing, which is another reason why I feel like I need to outsource the editing and social media aspect of what I'm doing. I think I need to do that. MJ, I never tried TikTok because I know I'll die in an ADHD hyperfocus void. And MJ, even as unsatisfied as I am with TikTok right now, as unseen by the algorithm as I feel, the hours fly by. That is a crack dispenser slot machine of an app. It is designed to keep your eyes on your phone for hours, and it is good at what it does. Even though it's bad at giving me the content I want right now, I can still waste hours on it, not enjoying the content. That's a sign of a good app. It's a sign of a savvy app. Maybe I won't say good app. Rytron, Miranda, I panic when a video plays on my phone and the sound is on. Me too, Rytron. I think I struggle with, that's the thing with TikTok is it's noisy. And scrolling through Instagram can be quiet. And I do a lot of scrolling on my phone, kind of like when I first wake up, Dustin's still asleep. I don't have the sound on. I don't know. I don't like being out in public and opening an app to like obnoxious techno. It embarrasses me. It irritates me. It rubs me wrong. That happens to me too. Rytron, I get it. PDX, with TikTok, it seems so random. The content they push my way is all over the place. I don't like it when I come to and I'm in an endless random scroll of things I don't even want to watch necessarily. It's easy to do, PDX. It's easy to do. What I am enjoying is like some goth makeup videos. I am enjoying some goth DIY fashion tips. I'm like, oh my God, this is me 20 years ago. This is fun. Wapsie Kid, sometimes it's cheaper to go first class. Totally. There is an expense, but maybe in the long run, it's cheaper to have someone else chase your business paperwork while you're free to create. Wapsie Kid, I want to do my own paperwork because I want to know, but I do hear you when it comes to outsourcing, cutting up my content. I think I just need to maybe go on Fiverr or maybe find someone in my closer community who is willing to do that. Even if they're not pro, even if they're not amazing at it yet, like we can grow together. We can learn each other's style and, you know, I have the cash. I don't have a ton of cash, but I really think that it would be an investment into my work that would pay off. Rytron, family that works in wildlife told us that most people wait too long to say goodbye to their pets. Absolutely, Rytron. Hello, Bicycle of Death. Welcome. Welcome on in. I absolutely, Rytron. I think, you know, that's another bridge that you come to is when your vet is being like, they're going to give you all these options for medical treatments that will technically prolong your pet's life, and they will, you can ask them, what about quality of life? What about comfort? What about this? And what about that? And the other thing. And I think it's only natural and to be expected that it's like one more month, whatever it takes. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tough. It's tough. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see my friend going through that, and also you can't help but apply it to your own situation and be like, this will be me one day. What can I learn from this? What can I... There's no way to get out ahead of grief. Grief is going to fuck you up, no matter what. There's no amount of preparation that's going to make it okay for me when the time comes to say goodbye to Dante. But I can be educated as to the different options out there and hope that I have enough of that to make good decisions. Love Crafty Mel. Love Crafty Melza. Welcome. Thanks for following. Welcome on in. Welcome to Sunday Sabbath. This is my Sunday chatting stream, which is usually earlier in the day, but lately it's whenever I can fucking do it. I also do gaming streams on Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to play this Tuesday, guys. I finished up all the Dark DLC, and that was fun. I do have a code for the remastered Layers of Fear, but I don't know if I want to play that again. I'd kind of rather play something new. Oh, I have that game that Miranda insisted I get. Look, guys. Every so often my Twitch community is like, I think you'd like this game. I'd like to suggest this. Miranda was fucking on me. Bless her heart. I'm not mad. It's a free game that I was able to get on Prime. What the fuck's it called? MD? Insisted. Where is it? I installed it. Downloads? Spider.mp4. What the fuck is that? What are these files on my computer? What are you? Oh, that's the that's the clip of me being like, do you guys want to see the spider? Remember that? That's what that is. I know I installed it. Why isn't it here? Agatha Knife. Agatha Knife looks a lot like Franbo type thing. Does that sound about right, Miranda? Maybe I'll tackle that this week because it was free. I didn't know that Amazon Prime users had access to free games, and it's not quite like Dante. You just see him squish through the door like that. Zoop. He just T1000'd it with his floofer nutter furs. And it was going to go away for free. I didn't realize Amazon Prime offered games, but what's weird about it, because Miranda was also the one who tipped me off on Netflix gaming, and those are often mobile games that you can get the full version for free through your Netflix subscription. Prime is different. These games are available for free through your Prime subscription, but they're not mobile games. They're what just happened there? Remix PC games that you have access to the full length through your Amazon Prime account, but you install it on your PC. And actually, another thing that I found on that Amazon Prime gaming list of free content was there were skins for Dead by Daylight. There was DLC for free. Who knew? Now you know. Now I know. So I do have that game, and it was about to expire, and so Miranda put the gas on it just in time. So I do have it. I do have it. Rytron, with Toffee, my 19-year-old girl. Whoa! Ryan, you had a cat live to 19? Kira sent me a photo of her hiding somewhere, and I knew instantly it was time. She never did that, and she'd been declining for a few months with cancer. Yeah, cats do that, right? They hide when they're not feeling well. They want to die alone. I don't know if dogs do that, do they? Worst day of my life saying bye to her. I'm sorry, Rytron. That is terrible. Hi, Dustin.
Hello.
You say hi to my community?
Hello. Did you feed Dante by chance?
I fed Dante this morning, yeah.
Cool. Want water, Dante?
He needs some water. You can't hate watch TikTok. No, Rytron. I didn't even realize. I wasn't trying to hate watch. I was accidentally watching hate. I thought I was seeing balanced discourse, and then I was like, oh no, this is not for me. VIP Mark, I am unemployable. I took my last employer, the National Health Service, to a tribunal before leaving, then haven't worked since due to depression and my eyesight getting worse. Not been employed over 10 years now. None of the skills I have can really apply professionally due to my eyesight now. And yet, Mark, like, you're one of the most skilled and knowledgeable people I know. Not only in your ability to do stuff in spite of your eyesight impairment, disability, impairment. I'm so sorry. I try to be on top of the proper terminology, but I panic in the moment and then I'm scared. But also, Mark, you are so incredibly gifted at explaining it, and I feel like you have an innate desire and drive to teach people and to help people do that, and that is an incredibly employable skill. Maybe it's not a skill that you want to sell to the National Health Service to have them exploit and treat you like shit and stress you out and whatever, but like, it's not nothing. That's an incredible skill. Incredible. Smile Times just got back from a walk, photo taking, garage sailing. Lovely day so far. That is a lovely day, Smile Times. There are flea markets like an hour and a half away from the city where you can find such treasures, especially if you're someone like me who likes to DIY and spiff things up, and like, that's part of my brand. That's part of my content. That's not just a hobby. Like, I almost consider those business ventures because I want to turn those into content, because I want to turn that content into my brand and my business. And I keep putting it off, but I should really reserve a weekend and drive out to St. Lawrence Market and do that. Because not only is that like a work expense where I'd be finding stuff that I could then turn into content, but what a lovely day. What a lovely way to spend the day. I'm jealous, Smile Times. Jelly. Rytron, if you or someone is laying down markers as the stream is happening, those clips can come out quicker. Yes, Rytron. I think I'm almost ready to revisit my Steam Deck. I know you were kind of scoffing me before because when I couldn't figure out why I was having all this trouble with NVIDIA, my video card, and Realtek, my sound card, they kept clashing and they kept borking my PC, and it would be hours and hours of troubleshooting, and I'd eventually fix it and not fully understand why, and it would be a thing. I never really zeroed in on what was causing that conflict. I thought it was the Steam Deck, but everyone who I've talked to about it are like, it shouldn't be. It couldn't be. I think, Mike, you also had a, not Mike, Mark! God, I did it again. Mark, you had a theory that perhaps there was a button or something I had assigned to the Steam Deck that had a driver issue that was conflicting. But I have one of those. I think it's a 15-key Steam Deck that can allow me to make those markers, and I really should. I really should. I also have, if you guys take clips of fun and funny moments of my stream, that really helps me out a lot. I know Samus did a bunch of them for my first Dark stream, and I used a lot of those. Stream Deck. What am I saying? Steam Deck! Steam Deck is the $500 handheld thing that I want desperately. Stream Deck is the Elgato thing. Here, I have it here. Do you want to see it? It's not where I thought it was. Never mind. But it's around here somewhere. Stream Deck, not Steam Deck. Sorry. And yes, I do deserve a Steam Deck. Rytron. One day I will have one. Next time they go on sale, it's mine. It's mine. It's a business expense. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the trigger and do it. Mark, hello, I'm here. You can put me to work. I do put you to work, Mark. Don't think that I haven't capitalized on your generous offers of help a lot. A lot. I could capitalize more, but I am strapped for time. But yeah, don't think you're not a valuable resource that I've taken advantage of time and time again. You're very kind about. You're so generous with your time that perhaps you don't even realize that I'm taking advantage. I am. Trust. Trust. Ashlyn, there's a funny thing I've discovered on TikTok lately. Younger people talking about not rousing the Gen X to the platform. Like they're talking about Baba Yaga or something. Hee, that's cute. That's charming, Ashlyn. You know what I saw recently? That kind of got my goat vis-a-vis the Gen Z, X, millennial, generational gap divide thing. But I saw a young goth. She looked younger than me. I realize I don't look my age, but she looked quite young. And she made this fucking smarmy ass TikTok about people always asking her how they can be goth and how they can get into goth culture. And she's like, goth is a subculture that has roots in all this music. You need to listen to this band and this band and this band. And oh my God, people just keep putting on black lipstick and calling it goth. And it's not. You have to listen to this band and this band and this band. And I'm like, I thought we were kind of past all this subcultural gatekeeping. I thought we got through that in the generation before me, to be honest. I even thought millennials were kind of like, no. We saw the hipsters come and go. And we don't gatekeep that shit. Goth can be many things. It can be an aesthetic, it can be a literary genre, it can be a movie genre, it can be a vibe, it can be all those things, and it does not need to be all those things at once in order to be valid or legitimate. And I was just kind of like, Rytron, gatekeeping is retro now and back in style. Boo. Boo. So watch me be that shitty Gen X millennial who comes on and is like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Mall goth is fine. New goth is fine. You do you. I thought that was a modern vibe. What do I know? Guys, can we talk about... I'm getting a haircut on Tuesday and I'm so fucking excited. I maintain this hairdo as best I can, but it is a high maintenance look. These shaved sides need... If I want them to look the way I want them to look, they need to be touched up like... Honestly, every other week, minimum. These bangs need to be trimmed every other week, minimum. And there's only so much you can do without taking off your head. I wish I could take off my head like I can in that Dark game. but I'm really excited to go and get a proper touch up. She's gonna like part my bangs properly, trim them properly. She's gonna part out my side shaves properly, trim them properly. She's gonna shape the back. I need it so bad. I'm so fucking excited. What the hell happened to my chat? Why did it schlump all the way up to the top? Now I gotta scroll all the way down. Bicycle of Death, audio only starting drive? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about, my friend. I'm sorry. Help me out. PDX, I'd like to check in on the statuses pages of my conservative cousins and their friends. Is that weird? No, not at all, PDX. Sometimes I like to dip my nose into the men's rights subreddit just to see. Because again, I don't understand these arguments and I want to know what I'm missing. What information, be it a logical fallacy or a personal experience or a Johnny Depp trial or whatever, is fueling modern misogyny. That fascinates me. There's actually a streamer who does these really misogynist live streams. And sometimes I'm in a weird mood where I want to check it out and be like, what's your fucking deal, man? Who hurt you? Amongst Graves, hello, my darling. Good to see you. A lot of streamers that do that. Yeah. And it's I do like to dip my toe just to see what the other side's saying, but I don't want the algorithm to catch whiff of that and misunderstand me as a user. I'm not wearing this shirt on stream ever again. My tits are turning Pazuzu into a caveman Cro-Magnon. Look at him. Arg. It's annoying. It's annoying me. MD, make a TikTok saying that. I thought of that, MD. I thought of that. That I would love to take this TikTok of her being like, listen to the music, and be like, how about do what you want? Again, once I am embedded in the community, and again, that was something that I would probably batch with my makeup wearing days. I could spend a day doing streams, doing selfies, and doing some TikTok reaction content that features my face. Not that I'm opposed to showing my face without makeup on camera, but I feel like my makeup is part of my brand at this point. You know what I mean? Rytron, if you want to know what's going on in the MRA community, talk to a local magician. Talk to presumably a white male millennial who is like, I'm trying to do a business and you help me now. You help me now. You help me. Help me. I don't help you. There is no reciprocity in this approach. You help me. You answer my questions. I missed the deadline and it was not my fault. It's your fault. You help me. Yep. Wapsie Kid, men's rights? Yo, that's a Pandora's box. It is. It sure is. NoCal Mike, I don't think is in the chat right now, but I consider him a member of my community, and he is often he is a member of a lot of Discords where these debates and these discussions happen, and he really likes being a fly on the wall, just to hear how different people talk about this. And I am fascinated by that. I'm not fascinated enough to join them. He even said to me, he's like, I would feel weird inviting you into some of those situations because some of them are so toxic that they might be harmful, and I would not want to be responsible for causing you harm. And I get that, but at the same time, I do have a morbid curiosity about how the other half understands the world, and I do have an interest in the echo chamber effect of social and cultural politics. And on the one hand, I have worked hard to insulate myself with like-minded people so that I feel safe. But at the same time, I don't want to be so insulated by my own worldview that I'm not privy to what's going on outside of that community. Evil Taylor Hicks, hello! Happy Sunday, good to see you. I'm a white male millennial, so I can provide men's rights insight. Thanks? Thanks? No thanks? Mike, you're here. You got a show on in the background too. That is so you. Mike like multitasks content. And I think we all do that to a certain extent. For example, last night, I knew that I wanted to dick around on TikTok, but I didn't want to only dick around on TikTok. And so I actually spent almost an hour scrolling streaming services for something to have on in the background while I dicked around on TikTok. It was so stupid. I was scrolling and I was like, no, that's too good. It's going to distract me from TikTok. No, that's too boring. I'm not interested in that. That's not my mood. And it's like, how do you find the perfect background noise movie? That needs to be a subgenre on Shudder's like menu. Just to have on while you're doing other stuff. That's fucked. And it's derogatory to the content in question, probably, but look, that's the reality of what I needed last night. You know what I mean? Sludge content, is that what it's called? MJ, I'm big into gaming and listening to podcasts. Yes, MJ, I look, toward the end, I'm not going to say toward the end because I don't think it's over between me and Inscription. It's not over. It'll never be over. Insert notebook gif. But when I was in the deepest dregs of Casey's mod, my perfect evening would be playing Casey's mod while one of my favorite streamers is streaming. Chef's kiss. That's a good time. That's a fuck of a good time. I loved it. And even I found that Orgienizer was also scratching that itch. It was something that required just enough attention that I could play it and I could still engage in a friend's stream on the side. That's good shit. That's good shit. I don't really have something scratching that itch right now. Subnautica, I started. I'm into it. That requires all of my attention. I played Leisure Suit Larry last night. I'm enjoying it. That really requires all my attention if I want to play it properly. But I do enjoy a busy hands fidget game that I can have going on with a podcast or a stream. That's a good time. That's a good time. And I feel like the neurodivergent generation is just like, this is how people are using content and media. How do we get that going? Rytron Sludge are the TikToks that will have a split screen. One video with the actual content and discussion, and the other that's just a video of game being played. Oh, the idea is that you watch the game, which is supposed to keep your attention, and then another part of your brain it's giving you two forms of content at once. It's giving you the eye candy and the ear candy. Is that the idea? Sludge. Interesting. Amongst Graves, those Samsung Folds are so great. Scroll on TikTok and play a game on one phone. I didn't realize the Folds could do that. I mean, I know that Samsung, one of the reasons I love Android so much is that I like the ability to multitask and run several, like, for example, I often, when I'm having my coffee in the morning, what I do is I open up Twitch. I have a Twitch stream on the go. I minimize that into a little box and I play my dots while I sip my coffee. And if something happens that I want to comment on, I jump back and do, and then I'm back in my dots. I'm able to do that on my phone. Or if I'm in the bedroom and the TV is there, I can cast, I can cast my Twitch stream to the TV and I can play my dots. I love my dots. I've also gotten into Words with Friends too. Remember that? I've been playing with Pat. I don't know if Pat, if you're still in the chat, but my friend Yasmina of Rue Morgue TV also plays. That's fun to do while I'm listening to a stream. Yeah, if you get that, I'll play with you, Amongst Graves. I'll play. Rytron, Slay the Spire is a great podcast game. You might dig it if you liked the card part of Inscription. Oh, cool, Rytron, I'll look for that. Slay the Spire. Is it, it's a mobile game? I will find it in my Play Store right here. Play Store. Slay the Spire. Spray the door. Autocorrect. Thanks. Spray the door. All the cats listening to this stream are like, who? I can do that. Don't mind if I do. Slay the Spire. There it is. Card Battler, casual. Oh, it's $12.99. Jeepers. That's kind of a lot for a phone app, but you like it? I should check it out. Is there a demo? The reviews are good. I might pick it up. But it's not like I'm in the market. I'm quite happy with my dots. MJ, Marvel Snap has been great for mobile gaming and watching a background type show. Okay. Marvel Snap. What kind of game is that, MJ? Obviously, you're dealing with Marvel characters. Evil Taylor Hicks, a lot of this sounds like the digital version of people who crochet while watching TV, playing games, etc. Absolutely, Evil Taylor Hicks. Speaking of which, I am definitely in that party. I'm crocheting another pot holder, another Mandela pot holder, like I did before, but I'm trying to, I really hurt my neck. Focus, webcam, thank you. I really hurt my neck hustling that last pot holder to finish it in time for a gift. And so for this one, I've gotten this far. Obviously subsequent rounds kind of embellish it. Right now it looks like a little flower. So I'm trying to do this in bite-sized little sessions so that I don't hurt myself, but it's hard because once you get in a fucking zone, once you find that magical stream that is engaging you and you're having fun and you feel like crocheting and you get all set up with your lights and all your balls around you. Yarn balls, guys. Yarn balls of string. You want to just go for hours and hours and hours, but then the next day I wake up and I can't lift my head off the pillow without crying, and that's not good. Oh shit, listen to you guys. I love Slay the Spire. Second for Slay the Spire. That's second. That's third. It's also on Steam. Maybe try it there. Oops. Or minimize OBS for no reason, Andrea. Way to go. Way to fucking go, motherfucker. It's a mobile card game. Nice short game, so it's a lot of fun. Look, I never would have thought... Actually, I shouldn't say that. I wasn't all that surprised that I got into Inscription to the extent that I did, because I did used to love those old Magic the Gathering games. I think I got into that in the Xbox 360 era, where there would be a new one out every year and they would update so satisfactorily, and I got really, and you build, see the difference between that and Inscription still has that stealth light aspect of when you die, you lose all your cards, you start all over again, whereas Magic the Gathering, you built up a deck and you unlocked new cards and you got, like, that deck started to feel very personalized and you cared about it more and more, and it would carry through all the subsequent releases of the game. You could carry your deck through and kind of keep going. I really, really enjoyed that shit. Spire is like Inscription in that way? Okay, so you lose your deck every time? It's like a little one and done? MD, you love how the colors came out on that one. Thank you. It's mostly the same colors, except having done it once, I have a better idea of which colors come through the most, and I subbed out the purple for like a burgundy. So it's similar but a little bit different. But thank you. Solid Empty, good to see you. The neck pain is real. I was lazy at the table yesterday and I'm paying for it today in my shoulder blades. Solid, I didn't think I had an issue. You know what it is? You know what it is in part? Is that hitherto, back in the day, before I had this podcast crafting streaming studio, I used to do my crocheting on the couch. And what it was is I'd lie down and I would have a little lamp above my head shining light on my work, and I would be able to lean back and crochet like this. Lean back, my upper arms are resting on my body, and only my fingers would be working. And so I was rested and relaxed. It wasn't until I tried to do that crocheting stream on stream where I realized that in order to crochet sitting up without leaning back, my upper arms are engaged. My upper arms are engaged in keeping my crochet work in camera focus. And if you'll remember, if you were there, I kept bringing it closer and closer to my tits because my upper arms would get tired and they would want to rest like this and just work. And in doing so, would crank my neck. So I feel like there's an aspect of posture that is like, if I'm going to crochet and watch streams, I should do it on the couch, leaning back. I should do it from a lying down position. It seems counterintuitive that anything lying down would be better posture, but it prevents me from going like this. It gets me like this, which is where you want to be. I need to be horizontal to crochet without hurting myself. That is what 40 plus is like, guys, if you're not there yet. Evil Taylor Hicks, your apartment has been taken over by yarn balls at this point. Is that right? Is that you, Taylor Hicks, or your partner? What's going on there? Tell me about it. I do have a lovely yarn bowl that someone made me. And if you don't know, a yarn bowl, is it right there? I'm going to show it to you. Oh God. Okay, so here's the yarn bowl. A friend of mine who is an actual potter, an actual artisan, made this for me. So as you can see, it's a beautiful raku bowl. They've included cutout bats and stuff all over. It has a handle, a natural handle. It has a little pocket that says Hellbat on it, which was my roller derby name and my moniker for a long time. And what you'll notice is, you see this little slash here? The purpose of this slash is you keep your yarn in here, in here, and then by going through here, you can feed the yarn, and the yarn ball unravels in this receptacle instead of rolling all over your carpet, picking up all your dog fur, which then winds up in your work. This one is gorgeous. It is huge. It is incredible quality. And it looks like, this feels like, what is this project that I have underway here? Oh, I think this was supposed to be a sweater for Dante. What is this? Oh no, this was, I was crocheting a top. And so you can see I've crocheted the two boob cups, like so, like this, and like this. And I'd sewn it onto the bodice, and the bodice has a little peekaboo lace row. And then I think what I was supposed to do was keep going around the back in a way that it laces up, and then this has kind of like a halter, and I think there was even a lacy panel to put across the chest. And the reason I gave up on it, guys, is because I'm trying to think of how to put this, because I'm very sensitive to dealing with this topic in the right manner. My body changed. Bodies change. Bodies change. Your weight fluctuates, your circumstances fluctuate, your hormones fluctuate, and there is no shame in that, there is no blame in that, it is just the way it works. And so sometimes with crafts like this that take a very long time, like a longitudinal knitting project, you start a project and then by the time you're in the home stretch, you know it's not going to fit anymore. And so I think I just kind of put this project on hold because I was like, either I would have to edit this to fit my new body or rip it out and restart it with the next size up in the pattern and all that. And so I think that's what happened here. But I actually forgot all about this, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Solid empty. That's so smart and cool. Yeah, yarn bowls. They are cool. And especially when I was doing, when I was working on the Mandela pot holder, you have to change colors a lot. And so I would have balls I'd be doing it at my desk and I'd have them all over my desk and then they would fall over. And like I said, as soon as they hit the carpet and roll around a little bit there, I vacuum as much as I can, but it's going to pick up dust, it's going to pick up lint, it's going to pick up Dante hair, and then eventually that makes its way into your work. And so it's really the best way to keep your balls contained and to keep them clean. Keep your balls contained and clean. I know we're all adults here, but I know they're balls. It's funny. Evil Taylor Hicks noting yarn bowl as a gift idea for my partner. Yes, Evil Taylor Hicks. Go on Etsy. They make some amazing ones. And actually, I don't know if your partner, Evil Taylor Hicks, is a knitter or a crocheter, but another feature of this bowl that doesn't really apply to the current project that's in it, but see these? These two holes right here, this little vampire bite. If this were a knitting project, I could not only store the balls in the bowl, but I could stick my needles and my needles would fit in down there and that would hold them upright. And then this is, I want to knit over here now. I want to knit over here now. La-di-da-di-dee, la-di-da-di-da. This is a fantastic, it was a really wonderful, I think it was my 30th birthday. She gave this to me as a gift and I still treasure it. And I keep different things in here. There's different kind of knitting crochet, like findings. Like I think I kept a measuring tape in there for a project that I was like always measuring. You can keep stitch markers in here. You can keep whatever. That's it. Fantastic gift for a knitter, crocheter, fiber artist in your life. She's pretty strictly crocheting. Knitting proved frustrating. Interesting, Taylor Hicks. I quite love both techniques, especially since I find that they complement one another. Like I'll knit something and then if I want to give it a free form edging, that's where crochet will come in, and vice versa. And I find even sometimes with my macrame, some crochet techniques will come into there. I'm pretty well-rounded in the fiber arts, to be honest. But I find crocheting is, among crocheting's strengths over knitting, is that it works up faster. So there's more immediate gratification and it is more free form. So whereas with knitting, you have to really plan ahead and there's a lot of math. You have to have X number of stitches and you have to be really conscientious of that. Crocheting, you can kind of improvise a bit more. It offers a bit more freedom in that respect. Taylor Hicks, I have a lot of memory of watching TV while she's knitting and here, oh fuck, I have to start over. Been there. I mean, I've been there with crocheting too. That's a thing. Solid. So next stream is you laying on the couch crocheting a top or nah? I mean, nah. My TV time with the couch is my time, guys. I don't even know how I would get a webcam in there doing that, but no. I think I'm just learning that some crafts and projects are okay for stream and some are better not. Unless I get like a GoPro on my head or something, but like why? Why? Do I not do enough content on stream for you guys? Boundaries are okay. Thank you, Frack. I still have the fucking Dante diamond art to finish. And I actually have another project that I want to do. Can I show you? Look, I wasn't even looking for a project. I went into Dollarama because I got a new, see this? This is the Faculty of Horror podcasting desk. We just replaced the desk. OMP! Hello, hello, hello! Good to see you, bud. I want to talk to you more in a sec, but without trying to lose my thunder. An early recording tip for our podcast editor was to buy a cheap yoga mat and cut it to fit the surface of your table so that when you put your drinks down, when you put a pen down, it's not a dunk that you're going to hear on the show. So I went into Dollarama to buy a cheap yoga mat. That's what I went in for. But nobody goes into Dollarama and just gets what they came for. Fuck no. I also bought some glue gun glue, which to be fair, I needed. Some little baggies, which to be fair, I needed for the Dante Diamond painting. But look what else. Look at this. Dustin called them cocaine mirrors, and look, you do you. You do whatever you want on these things. What I am seeing is a beautiful tray. What I am seeing is my beautiful reflection in a beautiful tray. I am seeing a tray that could easily be upcycled to be goth as fuck. Not only that, but like, yes, you guys, very Scarface. Okay. You can do drugs off a mirror. You can also put really beautiful collectibles on this mirror and display them like that, and it'll showcase them in a way where you can see the reflection. This, by the way, is, I tried to do a blood drop thing with this really interesting resin-like hardening compound that's really lightweight, and I actually really want to fuck more with this. But you can also, like, tell me you can't just hang this on the wall like this and have this be a wall mirror. Go ahead and tell me that. You can't. It has more uses than cocaine, you freaks. But I bought this one, and I also bought this one. This one is in gold, and it has a slightly different design. And so to that end, I have purchased... I found these at Dollarama, and I was like, these are coming home with me. These are amazing. So I bought them. And I also bought some satin finish black spray paint. I have also bought some rub and buff metallic clay. And I've also bought some air dry clay. So, let that be a clue for an upcoming art attack. I have almost everything I need. I don't think I'm going to be able to tackle it next weekend because it's Canada Day weekend and we're going to visit my mother-in-law. But maybe the weekend after that, I can just set up my overhead camera and go nuts on this. Maybe I'll paint it in advance and I'll film the painting progress. Sorry, my brain just glitched there. I had planned to tape off the mirror so I could spray paint the outside. But I'm actually seeing on the back here that there's a couple of screws. I think I could probably just completely take it apart and then not have to worry about the paint. I'll probably do that. Anyway. Dollarama. If it goes well and they turn out the way I want, I will buy a bunch more, make a bunch more, and maybe sell them at the spooky flea market. I doubt I will have time, but a girl can dream. Actually, it's funny because historically, as I mentioned before, the whole purpose of Spooky Flea Market is to offer horror creatives in the community a really cheap opportunity to sell their stuff, move their stuff, and it's a community building event where, you know, horror fans usually come together in a dark bar, even if they don't drink, or at a movie screening, where they can't bring their dogs, where they can't bring their kids. Spooky Flea Market is out in the sunshine, everybody coming together, and that is why I did Spooky Flea Market and why I continue to do Spooky Flea Market. However, that said, I do often use Spooky Flea Market as a vehicle to move if I have some crafts that I made that are just kind of sitting around and I don't want to sell them online. I don't want to be that kind of artisan. I don't want to have an Etsy store and populate that and hustle it. That's not my style. That's not what I like to do. I tend to just put them out for cheap at Spooky Flea Market and they fucking move. They move and my little tiny heart grows 2 sizes because I'm like, maybe I'm good at this. Maybe this is fine. So for example, perhaps this year, here's some things I might put out there. Here are a couple of things I might sell. So these are leftovers from a pottery project I did ages ago. Look at, something just fell on the floor. Something just hit my leg and fell on the floor. What was it? I'll have to look for that later. But check this out. Look at this little pumpkin. He doesn't have a mouth. He just has a head. He just has eyes and a nose, but he's pretty cute. This was one of my first times experimenting with closed forms, and I made him, and I didn't know what for, and I kept him around, and like maybe I'll put him in a plant, or I'll put him in a terrarium, or like he'll just be a cute little thing. Maybe I'll put him out for Spooky Flea Market for $10 and see if it goes. He has not mouth, but he must scream. Oh my God. Rytron said the same thing. Here's another one that is a bit bigger, that actually does have a mouth with a little tooth. Solid Empty, he's super cute, right? He's cute. I made him for no reason, just to see if I could, and now he's just kind of sitting around. May as well sell it, right? And here's another one. This is probably the best one. I think I've actually shown them to you in the order that I made them. It's like I made this guy and he was cute, but I ran out of room for a mouth. And so then I made this guy extra tall, but then I wanted to make a round one, and here's a round one. His nose, he does have a nose, but it doesn't go all the way through. So, I don't know. What are these for? What could you do with that? I don't fucking know. And then there's this thing. I made a lament configuration puzzle box in pottery, and I tried to gold leaf the outside. And when I say I've tried, I mean, I guess I succeeded, but do you see all this negative space? I really wanted it to be just gold and black. But this is, again, this was an early experiment with closed form. So I hand built this, and then I cut kind of a keyhole closure around the circle of this so that it actually closes. Now, I think this turned out pretty cool. I would love to take another swing at hand building pottery and hand building a lament configuration. It would be best if I had proper gold glaze. Oh, thank you, Solid Empty. I really enjoyed it. It's something I really want to get back into. Because I have this, you see this butterball? Oh, we are doing full-on fucking show and tell up in here. You see this butterball that I painted? This was like an officially licensed Hellraiser model kit. And so I assembled him in the plastic, I glued him together, and I painted him. I had to disassemble him when I moved, which is why there is this big seam here. I still need to kind of repair that properly and fix him. But yeah, I painted him. And in that box was one of these, so that you can, this is kind of like on lightweight cardstock. And the idea is that you would cut this out and fold it up like this to make a lament configuration box. However, for my purposes, I've been using this thing as a stencil to achieve some realism to my pottery stuff. See this, you can see I kind of fucked up. I kind of inverted. It's supposed to be black on the square and gold on the inside. But, you know, like I can photocopy this. Like I use this as my master, and I use this as my master so that I can make other lament configuration things. But that's, if you're wondering where I got the pattern, that's where I got it from. Anyway, so all this to say that with Spooky Flea Market, you know, if I have a crafty Sunday, basically I want to use that crafting content to inspire you guys. And then if I'm going to sell the stuff that comes out of it, I'm going to sell it for cheap at the Spooky Flea Market. I'll move it. It'll bring someone joy. It'll bring me joy to have my art appreciated. It's definitely a more appealing proposition than trying to hustle the Etsy game, which, God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to worry about shipping this overseas and packing it all up, and what if it smashes? Fuck all that shit. I'm not doing it. Anyway, that was a tangent. OMP, I wanted to plug your feminist chat stream. Can you please help me out with that? Because I'm blanking. Is it Friday nights? Was it Friday night I watched you? It was Friday. It was Friday afternoon, because I remember I watched it before I had my play date of The Forest with my friend Paul. I really enjoyed that content, and guys, I was talking before about how, you know, I've been struggling on YouTube to find discourse surrounding subjects that interest me, but, you know, I'm open to oppositional points of view, but I am not open to watching content about owning the libs and owning the woke and that kind of shit. And so it's tricky. It's tricky out there to find content that discusses difficult topics in a good way. And so you can imagine my delight when I saw my friend OMP doing Feminist Talk Fridays, and a really fascinating backdrop of his own background in feminist studies and disability, while getting a degree in physics. Really interesting stuff, and I thought it was great. OMP, you're absolutely welcome to plug that content right here, right now, and if you're not following him, you should do so immediately. Wopsy Kid, I underestimated the amount of Hellraiser in your life. Impressive. Wopsy Kid, that's probably... Oh. I was going to say that's not even the half of it, but I think that is the half of it. I think that might be the half of it. I think that might be the whole of it. You know, there isn't a ton of Hellraiser... Oh! Hold on. No, I'm wrong. I thought I had a Pinhead Funko Pop, but I don't. I have an 8-Bit Jason Funko Pop and Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Those are my two Funko Pops. But yeah, that Hellraiser, that Butterball model kit was such a find. I had moved into the Rue Morgue Manor, and so I had an entire basement full of fucking junk, full of horror junk, full of signed posters that were rolled up and on the floor and dog-eared and damaged. And I was like, who knows? I might have something worth some serious money in there, which is actually why I started the spooky flea market. Partially why I started the spooky flea market was to move some of the stuff I had in my basement that I was like, this isn't in good enough condition to sell online. I'd love to just throw it out in a garage sale and sell it for cheap. Anyway, I'm rummaging around down there and I find a fully intact Hellraiser model kit. And I was like, yo, this is mine now. This is mine. It was still encased in plastic. It was still, like, the box was pretty fucked. I'll show it to you. The box was kind of damaged. It was dog-eared. It's partially collapsed a little bit. And indeed, I think the model itself was kind of smushed because I had trouble assembling the top and bottom parts together. They weren't fitting together because it was a little bit smushed and damaged. But this is like legit. Box certificate, single wall. There's no year on it. Overseas Hobbycraft Limited, Hobbycraft Canada, model kit, 1992. 1992. I found this in the basement and I was like, this is mine and I'm making it. And like, this is the kind of shit that when I go to flea markets and rummage sales, this is what I'm looking for. These DIY horror kits, they don't make them anymore. And I love them. I love them. I love assembling and painting figures. I fucking love it. And I don't like, maybe if I was into World of Warcraft or whatever, I want the horror ones. Do you guys remember, everyone here has read Salem's Lot, right? or is at least familiar with it. Because a big thing with Salem's Lot is, this character, Mark Petrie, who is a child, but he's a gifted child. He's very smart, and he is a huge horror fan. And the book takes pains to explain how he spends a lot of his time working on these glow-in-the-dark Aurora models. Aurora is the name of the brand. These glow-in-the-dark, paint-it-yourself models. And Mark Petrie's knowledge of universal monsters and classic vampire lore is what helps him and the protagonist, Ben Mears, hunt down the vampires in Salem's Lot. And I was like, fuck, man, imagine being a kid and just going and buying those anywhere. They're so hard to find now. They're like legit vintage. OMP, Feminism Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern. Only had one so far, but I do hope to make it a regular thing. I'm going to do a few to find my footing. It's similar to the radio show I did, so I have some experience. The evening will really get working when I get my buns and gear to bring people in to discuss things, whether panel discussion or interview. Yeah, that is amazing, OMP. Evil Taylor Hicks, I don't know if you're referring to OMP's comment or the stuff I was showing, but I think it's wonderful. So yeah, everybody tune into that, Feminism Fridays. I'll be in the chat. I used to love doing plastic models, but there's nothing interesting for sale anymore. I know. Just airplanes and cars. Give me Hellraiser and spaceships. Sometimes I can find them on eBay, but they're collector's items. And so, people just keep them in the plastic and sit on them and then charge an exorbitant, like they're almost not intended to be enjoyed properly. I do have one. Where is it? I have a vampire one that I haven't painted yet. Is it in here? I don't know where it is. But wherever it is, it's still in the box, and it's just a vampire head. You can't see my head. It's just a vampire head, and I got it for like 20, 25 bucks actually at the Spooky Flea Market last year. There was a vendor called Tony, and his booth was called Tony's Dark Nightmares, and so it wasn't vintage, it was modern, which is why he had a bunch of them, and they were affordable, and I bought one. But the vintage ones are where it's at. I wish they would make them again. And like with all I feel like there's such a glut of horror franchises that are licensing in different areas now. Like if you look at Middle of Beyond, they have all this licensed like Day of the Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre gear. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously, like there's a new video game coming out soon, so the IP was available for that. Like they're slinging around IPs for merch, puzzles, clothing. I'm not seeing paintable figures and assemblable models, and maybe that's, see, there's that business side of me that's that's like, how can I? I'm friends with Don Coscarelli. Maybe I could reach out to him for licensing a kit to put together your own phantasm ball. If only I had the time, eh? No shortage of ideas, but Evil Taylor Hicks, I just looked up that Butterball model and it's going for $150 on eBay. I mean, that's not even that bad, Evil Taylor Hicks. Like, that's full and complete and unpainted. That's not even that bad, but I wouldn't pay that for it. Oh, 3D printer. Interesting amongst graves. That's interesting. I wonder where that vampire one is. I bought it and I had every intention of painting it, and I just haven't because I haven't been inspired. But I bet if I took the box and I kept it out somewhere that I would look at it, I would just kind of look over at it and be like, I have an idea. I think where I'm kind of stumped with that one is the plastic in and of itself is glow in the dark. So it's a question of, do you want to paint on the hair and the eyes and the mouth and the fangs and the features and leave the skin glow in the dark, or do I want to pay that? It looks to be unassembled. I mean, look, the assembly was nothing. It was 2 pieces. And like I said, mine was kind of borked, so the pieces didn't come together easily. But yeah, that's interesting. $150. OMP, the website Monster... What? Where is this? Where is this? Rick, have you provided a resource for cheap monster models? Because I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. Why don't I see it? Thanks for that. Bookmarked and will be explored deeper. Where's the original comment? Worried about shipping costs, which are often more than the product. OMP, that is the Canadian curse. I was actually just talking about this. If you're on the Discord, you'll notice that I was promoting, whenever there's a long weekend, there tends to be sales. And when it comes to buying clothing, a lot of the clothing brands that I like are American, and between the shipping, international shipping, duties, and currency exchange, you're paying through the nose. So often, if these brands are having a 35 to 40% off sale, I'm still paying full retail price, but I'm paying it in Canadian, and shipping becomes reasonable after that. But yeah, that's a thing. Thank you, monstersinmotion.com. Your connection is not private. Whatever. Keep going. Unsafe. Rocketansky wouldn't send me an unsafe. And it took me to a Rogers page. Why isn't it working? Rocketansky, I can't access this page. Monsters in Motion. It's taking me to Rogers Business. Is it www.monstersinmotion? Is that why? Did I just put this? No, that just takes me to Rogers. Is it because there was an HTTPS? I don't understand. I don't understand. My firewall is all over this. It took you to the website too. Rocketansky, would you please post that in the... Oh, here we go. Here's a bigger, fatter link. My connection is not private. Attackers might be trying to steal your information from www.monstersinmotion.com. I can't go to the website. I don't know why. You're killing me. What if I just Google monsters in motion? Just Google monsters in Notion. Oh my God! Even when I try to click the Google link, it's your connection is not private. Placentia, California. It comes from Placentia. Here's the Facebook page. Can I get to the store through the Facebook page? Monsters in Motion store. Monstersinmotion.com. DNS block. What the fudge? Notions of Monsters in Motion? Well, I'm looking at the Facebook page and I'm seeing some Dracula kits. I'm not sure, like, are they paintable? Star Trek, that looks like Godzilla, Nosferatu, all plastic assembly kit. 100th anniversary limited collector's edition. Black Lagoon, that one looks like it's already painted. Gilman. Godzilla tissue holder, oh, that's cool. The tissue comes out through his mouth. Oh, I want that. Golden amulet sale replica. Creep show replica prop. And it looks like they do cons. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I stand corrected. I guess there are modern brands doing stuff, but they can't get through my firewall, so it's not much good to me. The fudge. What the fudge? Qu'est-ce que le fudge? They have all sorts of crazy kits. I will look, Rocketansky. I don't know what the problem is. The website is secure and my browser isn't complaining about it. Weird. It is weird. I'll try it on my computer downstairs. What the fuck? Oh, here's Mega Hobby. Okay. Amongst Graves has a different link. Monsters and horror kits. Okay. This one's loading. The Fly. $76.46 and that's on sale and that's probably USD before shipping. Ah! A lot of classic monsters. Which are cool, but like I wanna, you know? Jekyll and Hyde, oh, that one's cool. Haunted Manor, The Grave Robber's Demise, Mars Attacks, okay. War of the Worlds. Yeah, they're out there. This Haunted Manor one, $25.50, $25.50. Phantom of the Opera, $26.99. That's a glow-in-the-dark figure like my vampire one. Interesting. They're out there. Figure models. Vampirella, really? I did have some sticker shock looking at prices, but OMP, like, this is totally the kind of thing that somebody gets and they're like, I'll get around to it one day, and it goes in the basement, and then maybe they die, and then their kids do an estate sale. I think Lip Sweat with Venom, did you mention estate sales were good earlier in the stream when I was complaining about almost being scammed on Facebook Marketplace? An estate sale, like, look at how I inherited that Butterball one. I inherited a basement full of junk, and it was in there. It was a treasure. So I think that's where you want to find a flea market where somebody's like, I don't know how much this is worth. I don't really care. I just want it out of here. Give it to me. Put it in my vein. Anyway, guys, it's 4:30. I have to pee. So I was considering taking a break to pee and come back and going until 5, but I think I'm good. I've got some other stuff to do today. I only have a couple of hours to hang out with Dustin before. He's going to a show tonight. He played a show last night, and he played a show the night before. So I haven't seen much of Dustin this weekend. So I'd like to spend some time with him. I'd like to get some food in me. I actually haven't had breakfast. I had a liquid breakfast of a Caesar right here, which, not the best. Not the best way to start your day. So I think I'm going to wrap it up and do some other stuff. But Minecraft Monday is tomorrow. Samus has a realm reserved for Necropolis Necrocrafters. And ever since there was a big update at the beginning of June, we've started a new realm, so we're all starting from scratch. And rather than do kind of the communal training wheels, we have a base where everybody has materials. Basically, in this realm, everybody is just spawning and doing their own thing. But that's not to say that there aren't that we won't help you if you're new to Minecraft and you want to join in. I am in the middle of a very spooky build that I'm excited to share with everyone. So that's happening tomorrow night. We usually get started between 8 and 9. And again, just jump into the Discord channel. We can send you an invite to Necrocraft, or if you want to play something else, play a different game and just chat with us while we're Minecrafting, you're absolutely welcome to do that. And then Tuesday, of course, is Terror Tuesday. I will be trying Agatha Murder? Is it Agatha Murder? I'll be trying it. I will know the title by Tuesday. Again, that starts at 8 p.m. Eastern until whenever I am too tired to keep going, and etc., etc. But thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, as always, for being a valued community member. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend. It's Sunday afternoon. Sometimes I spend Sundays kind of psychologically dreading / preparing for Monday, but your Sunday doesn't have to be all about the incoming week. Enjoy yourself today. Rest, recharge your batteries, take some time for some wellness, because the best thing you can do for your future self is to take care of your present self. And you might think that that comes in the form of doing laundry and doing dishes and meal prep. Sometimes it's that, and sometimes it's just lying down and crocheting, or binging Vanderpump Rules in my current case. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I will raid out to somebody, and so stick around, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Ghost hunting is going...
No.
We're doing the challenge. And the challenge is being a challenge, if that makes sense. What? Can I raise my camera?
Where did you put the camera?
It's in front of the door.